You might be wondering why I'm sanding my kitchen countertops and why I'm taking them all apart. Well, we had this bar height countertop and I hated it. It was just a catch-all for everything. And my poor dog didn't know what was going on. But back to why I was sanding it. I decided I was going to paint the countertops. I know this sounds crazy, but I wanted to paint my cabinets green and I really hated the brown countertops. And we didn't have the budget just yet to replace the countertops, so I figured I'd try to make them look like marble. We took the bar off and then we cut down the studs and put it back on. And no, I didn't think just paint was going to hold up, so we did epoxy it. But this was not without its struggles. Epoxy is a huge pain to work with. We ended up burning a small section of it, so I sanded it down and had to repair that spot. But the repair turned out pretty decent. And then my daughter came in and decided to set her phone down on the epoxy while it was still wet. We did the two small sections before tackling that big section. And you can see in that last clip that I did fill in the seam where the countertops met. I got everything painted and then I put some veining on it like I did the smaller countertops and to try to make it look like marble. Now, mind you, I am not an artist, so this didn't turn out the greatest, but it'll do. At least until I can get new countertops. Now, we mixed up some clear epoxy and poured it all over the countertops and then took heat guns and blow dryers to it to get out all the bubbles. It actually turned out really good and really pretty and shiny. But don't let this fool you with how white it is because epoxy yellows over time apparently, and I didn't know this when we did this project. We also replaced our builder grade sink with a new workstation sink that has a bunch of accessories that come with it. Pretty cool. And here's what I mean by the yellowing and the chips on the edges, and then some spots turned a little bit red, which I don't know where that came from. Then when I built my kitchen island, I decided to try epoxy again, which I said I'd never do. But this time I'm using a different technique and using stone coat countertops. Apparently the Pro Marine brand that I used the first time with a clear epoxy was a terrible brand to choose. And this one actually turned out pretty good. It wasn't the look I was going for. My daughter said it looked like a cappuccino spilled all over the countertops, but I think the look is kind of cool. Plus, once I eventually replace all my countertops, I'm going to replace the island one too because I want them all to look the same. And side note, I built this island to expand. Isn't that pretty cool? Now, I know I said I hate working with epoxy, but I'm considering doing it again in my garage, but I want it to be clear and glow. What do you think? Will it be worth it or is it just a whole waste of time and a whole lot of work?